Hello there and welcome back to another video. Welcome vinyl community and fellow Beatle maniacs. I would like to do a different type of video today. I have a plan that I'd quite like this channel to do a certain amount of vinyl focus, obviously talking about records and favourite songs, favourite albums, top tens, things like that. But I also want to focus on the Beatles music because I'm primarily a musician who's heavily inspired by them. So I thought I would focus on something that I've not seen an awful lot of on YouTube. And obviously, first and foremost, the Beatles are a guitar band, and I play the guitar as well, and perhaps if this video goes down well I might do more of a guitar focus, maybe solos, possibly bass lines, things like that. But today I want to focus on the Beatles' use of the piano, which is an instrument that came more to the fore in their latter years. The Beatles were one of the main reasons I took up the piano in the first place, and certain songs jump out at me. And I just want, I would just quite like to talk a little bit about why some of these Beatles piano moments, as I'm going to call them, have really stuck in my memory. And due to the nature of the beast, this video is probably going to have more of a McCartney focus than anything else, because Paul was by far the most proficient on the instrument in the Beatles, and it's a lot of his work that I'm going to showcase. Because a big push of the Beatles for me was their use of harmony and how their melodies and harmonies moulded together to do quite unusual things. And Paul McCartney was always by far the most melodic of the Beatles, and I think the piano, his sort of more frequent use of the piano in the Beatles allowed him to do that. So what I've done, I've chosen 6 piano moments from the Beatles, and I just want to explain why they are so they have such an impact on me, really. So I'm going to start with a song from 1966, which is, if you've already seen my Revolver video, you'll know I think very highly of this one. This is For No One. And For No One is one of Paul's most underrated songs, I think, and it's certainly one of his most touching, and I know that John Lennon had nothing but praise for this one, which, if you've read post-Beatles interviews, praise for McCartney is not something that came freely from John Lennon's mouth. But anyway, he had no problem with this one. For No One, it's I apologise in advance to anyone watching who's sort of not musically savvy. I'm going to try not to be too technical, but most pop songs are written in what you would call guitar keys. So you'll get a lot in E, a lot in A, D, G, C, A minor, E minor, etc. For No One is written in B major, which is not a natural guitar song, but because For No One features practically no guitar, it's not a problem. So we're in the key of B major, and it's characterised by a descending bass line, which is quite harmonically interesting. So you've got all the right hand is doing is this. But it's the bass line that puts it in, so you get this. The chorus goes into a different area completely, and this is what makes it quite baroque in feel. So you've gone from that to this. And that last little bit, it's called a suspension, which basically means that you've got a note from a different chord that clashes, and you want it to resolve into that. And Paul uses suspensions an awful lot around about this time. So yeah, For No One is a fabulous song. Of course, over the top of that, you get that tremendous horn solo by Alan Civil. But that eyes you see nothing, no sign of love behind the tears, cried for no one, a love that should have lasted years. So that's always been a favourite, and I love the way that works. So next song on the list, moving forward to 1967, another Paul song. It's The Fool on the Hill, and The Fool on the Hill is in D, which is a nice pop music key, but Paul uses sixths a lot in his harmonies. And to put that into context, so you've got, it's in the key of D, which is D, F sharp and A, and you add a B, but he adds it lower, so you get this. And he doesn't change the bass, it stays where it is. And this isn't in the piano, but those recorder lines. Suspension again. And then we're in D major from the start, and then we go into the minor, so you get that real change of mood in the chorus. But the fool on the hill. I've always loved that gear change, and to a non-musician it doesn't matter what the chords are, you feel the music, but to a musician I've always found it really interesting the way that Paul plays around with that sort of minor shift. There are other little songs that he uses sixths on as well. Now the next song isn't a Paul song, it's a John song, but Paul is the piano player on this one. And this is a bass riff on the piano that's eventually doubled on the bass. One of my favourite, again, underrated Beatles songs, probably because it appears on Yellow Submarine. It's Hey Bulldog, and what a riff this is. Again, B major. You get two verses, and then the chorus. Again, exactly like The Fool on the Hill. Obviously this is John's song, so this is probably just a coincidence, but so you get this bit. Some kind of happiness is measured out in miles. What makes you think you're something special when you smile? And the main thing that's when you get to the chorus of this song, John uses what's called it's a chromatic climb. A chromatic scale is where you take every single note. You don't, so it's, and so the chorus of this one, you can talk to me, you can talk to me, you can talk to me, if you're lonely you can talk to me. So you get that climb, and John does that a lot. He does it in isolation as well. So that is a Lennon characteristic, that chromatic climb. So Hey Bulldog is an absolutely incredible piano song as well. Another song I would like to talk about, back to Paul again. This is You Never Give Me Your Money, in A minor this time, A, C and E, but Paul adds the seventh, the flat seventh, which gives you that, which on its own is a clash, but with the rest of the chord sounds lovely. And that has a sixth in it as well. So seventh, sixth, I would call these are Beatle chords that crop up again and again and again. And it's a gorgeous tune, You Never Give Me Your Money. And again, something that and Paul is primarily on the piano in later Beatle years as the lead instrument. And I mean, the journey You Never Give Me Your Money goes on is amazing, and I probably need a whole video to talk about that, but I've always loved that introduction. And the last one I would like to focus on is from, if you watched my last video about Rubber Soul, my favourite Beatles song In My Life contains a keyboard solo played by George Martin. Which is in a Baroque style. It sounds a little bit like a harpsichord because it's a piano that's sped up, but it's very complex. It's so complex that I wasn't going to risk playing it live on piano. So I've recorded the left hand and the right hand separately so you can hear it. So we've got the left hand, which goes like this. Sorry, the right hand, which goes like this. And the left hand, which goes like this. Which is quite sophisticated. You put them together and you get the thing that we all know and love, which it's not perfect playing of it, but it's good enough. And that sort of thing was not in pop songs at the time, and that's why it stands out so much. So amazing moment in an amazing song. So yeah, that is my whistle-stop tour of some of my favourite Beatles piano moments. I guess honourable mentions would be things like Fixing a Hole, and you've got Sexy Sadie. And then everything that George Martin ever sort of orchestrated for the Beatles, he will have originally done on piano, and there's so many amazing things you can talk about there. But I am going to leave the video there. Let me know in the comments whether you like this kind of thing, whether it's not your sort of thing at all, and I'll decide whether I'm going to do another one or not. It's one of my passions. Music is one of the things that I love the most, and the Beatles are a huge part of that. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.